Do you feel the vibes?
Hello and welcome to IT News. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin bubble which can pop. Our video is based on the article written on Medium by crypto investor. Many people say that Bitcoin is a bubble, that it's a magic bean factory, it's a Ponzi scheme or a fraud, that Bitcoin is for murderers or criminals. Today we'll venture to go to the other side of the moon and talk about 3 ways which Bitcoin bubble can pop. Most of you know about the collapse of Mt. Gox exchange, which was the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in 2013, when FinCEN released a statement where it required this exchange to comply with anti-money laundering laws. The Bitcoin plummeted because of the concerns over the regulations. People could no longer withdraw money from Mt. Gox cryptocurrency exchange, which led to Bitcoin price to rise dramatically. The final nail in the coffin of Mt. Gox cryptocurrency exchange came with the hack which stole $500 million of Bitcoin. Finally, Mt. Gox cryptocurrency exchange had to declare its bankruptcy, which led to the longest bear market in the history of Bitcoin. As a result, Bitcoin declined from $1,200 for one Bitcoin to $200 for Bitcoin in January of 2015. You may ask me why I told you about Mt. Gox. The reason was to draw parallels between the biggest currency exchange which we had in the past, Mt. Gox, and the present biggest currency exchange, Bitfinex. The same story happened with Bitfinex in August 2016 when Bitfinex was hacked, and the amount of money which was stolen equals about $72 million. This attack affected random customers, and as a result they lost their entire account balances. So Bitfinex decided to issue out BFX tokens, which would help them to pay out their customers' debts. Bitfinex promised to pay out the debts as soon as they could afford to. Unlike Mt. Gox, which was ruined by pure stupidity, Bitfinex would be ruined by fraud, which is much worse. The PR surrounding this effect would be much more serious, and the domino effect would almost certainly lead to a colossal loss in the value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Therefore, it's critical to watch Bitfinex closely. Fortunately, of all possible catalysts which can lead Bitcoin to pop, this one is the least possible. There are other factors about Bitfinex which we need to worry about. Factor number 1, the freezes in Bitcoin trading in June of 2016. Number 2, the anonymity of the team behind Bitfinex cryptocurrency exchange. Phil Portas couldn't even answer who's behind it. And number 3, refusing all US customers towards the beginning of August. Catalyst number 2, global crackdown on ICOs. Recently we saw China impose a temporary ban on initial coin offerings, ICOs. As you can imagine, this leads to situations when developers take their money and run, or they receive such an abundance in fundings that they don't know how to adequately use it. As one report says, up to 10% of all fundings go straight to the hand of criminals. These criminals fish investors for their funds, or they hack the investors, or they just steal the funds from investors. Here's the timeline of statements of different countries concerning ICOs. As you can see, the regulatory scene around ICOs is heating up quickly. We are seeing more and more nations give their opinion on whether or not tokens should be viewed as securities or assets. In general, the consensus seems to be that they are securities. Catalyst number 3, closing of fiat gateways. The final and most relevant catalyst that could lead to Bitcoin bubble to pop is the removal of gateways between fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. You've all seen the headlines relating to BTC China shutting down. If you look at the headlines in Bitcoin, you'll notice that the declines in the three major Chinese cryptocurrency exchanges are nearly identical, despite only one of them is making an announcement. The author of this article doesn't see the principal markets removing the gateways to cryptocurrencies from fiat. While we do not expect regulations to tighten on exchanges, this is the natural evolution of cryptocurrencies and will increase their legitimacy. So to wrap it up all, Bitcoin is a strong investment, but you need to be really mindful about your investments. In this video, we covered 3 possible catalysts which could lead Bitcoin bubble to pop. Number 1, the collapse of Bitfinex as a result of fraud. Number 2, increased regulations could lead to a boom in ICO funding as it adds legitimacy and attracts wealthy investors who could provide a bulk of funding. And number 3, blocking of fiat gateways that enable cryptocurrency exchanges to operate effectively, cutting crypto off from the real world. While China is obvious the headline here, Japan remains still really pro-crypto and has the highest volumes in the world.